Hi friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today is just going to be an old school vlog. I've had a lot on my mind lately. I've been very busy with work. I've got a wonderful skit I had planned for the Johnson the Man with this Battlefield 5. I just haven't had the time to sit and organize. I've got like 12 pages of notes. I've got some great ideas for another skit, but it's just time consuming. I need to sit down and put together a proper script and then put together a short little video that you guys would enjoy. But I thought I'd get this vlog out. This has been on my mind a lot. There's been a tremendous amount of news with E3 coming out. There's been so many games that look very promising coming out that I've been very excited about. But frankly, the more information you hear, for me personally, I find out that things are changing, that it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. And I've just had so much disappointment. The last year or so, there's been so many initial games that I've been so excited for. So the concept of this rant's going to be basically, has gaming changed or have I changed? Have I changed? I mean, I've been there since the beginning. I was born in 1962, long before video games. So I played board games for years. I played sports. I played outdoor tennis, ping pong, basketball, street hockey back east as a kid. Long before there were video games in arcades, that's what I did. So I saw the very first Pong game. I mean, literally, when it first came out in '75 or whatever year it was, we had a wealthy friend of my parents that I think he was a doctor, so they had the best big, 26-inch color TV. They had their very first Pong game with the little big controllers, and so we went over there after church one day. I remember we were playing Pong, and I was just blown away. And so I've been there since the beginning, man. And in arcades with, Galaga and Pac-Man and Super Sprint and Asteroids. And I've seen the whole gambit of gaming over the years. And I've been very excited about it. I wasn't one of those lucky kids that had a brand new console every Christmas under the tree and handfuls of games. I never had any of that. So it took me, 10 years to wait and save up to buy my first console. But believe me, I'm very much into gaming and have been pushing for better graphics and more immersive worlds and experiences, because to me that's where gaming's all about. So I have seen all the trends from the beginning. I have seen every trend come and go. I saw the crash in the early 80s, 83, whatever, when they mass-produced, shovelware crap for the Atari 2600 and television, whatever. And it burned out. I remember the demise of it, and I remember, I was still in the arcades and playing arcade games, and got my first C64, and then I saw the NES, which I wasn't a big fan of, but the Super NES I loved because of Wing Commander. That's why I bought it, and then enjoyed many other games on it as well. But so this is someone that has embraced new games, and what's interesting is, go back to 1995. I bought the PlayStation. This is one of the first games I bought. I bought like 4 games. I bought Agile Warrior, Return Fire, and I think I bought Road Rash, which I don't have a tall box of, but I do have the game. And back then, it was easy to stay on top of the games. I mean, you could have, when Sony first came out, you had like 20, 25 games to choose from, at least at my store. Now, maybe there were a lot more, and I just wasn't aware of them. Again, this is before the internet. So you know nothing. All you know is a little 30-second TV ad, for 20, 30 seconds on television. Oh, look, the Panasonic 3D, that looks great. And then all of a sudden I see the PlayStation ads. Oh, man, this looks so good. So it was easy to stay on top of your backlog back then because you only had 20, 30 games to play. And then each year as they came out, or month, they come out with new games. Believe me, I was right there buying them because I love new experiences. Yeah, I could have just kept playing this, but when Twisted Metal 2 came out, I stopped playing this and started playing it. Twisted Metal 3, not so much. And that's the thing. That's one of the points I want to make, is that if I see something that I didn't like along the way, I wouldn't support it. So when I bought Twisted Metal 3 and started to play it, I go, this is terrible. This is not the Twisted Metal. The graphics, the gameplay, everything looked terrible. The HUD, I loved the music was good, but that was it. And so I took the game, I traded it in, I think gave it to someone or sold. I don't know what I did, but I didn't want to play it. After one day of playing, I said, this is terrible. So I never bought the Twisted Metal 4. Now I would actually like to have both of those just to have the whole series, but I have consistently supported what I like and what I don't like. Not everything new is good, as Twisted Metal 3, showed. Now, there's people that grew up that maybe that was their first Twisted Metal and they loved that game, they loved the music, and that's fine. If you like it, that's great. I played Loaded and Reloaded, Alien, Trilogy, Alien Resurrection, which I beat Alien Resurrection, but I didn't beat Trilogy, which surprisingly, but and so back then there were only so many games. So when they came out with all of a sudden a new female protagonist with a Tomb Raider game, I was like, wow, you actually play as a female. It's kind of unusual. And I played it. It was like Duke Nukem Time to Kill with platforming and basic gun shooting and mechanics and targeting and everything. And that's how I actually became a fan of the Tomb Raider series as well as the Duke Nukem. Time to Kill, Total Meltdown, Land of the Babes, the Manhattan Project later on PC and on the Xbox 360. But so it was easy to stay on top of the games. You could own all the PlayStation games that you wanted back then. You could have 30, 40 games, and you've got everything. You had a backlog. You could go through and play them or not play them. And then things, kept developing. When the PS2 came out, all of a sudden, they started like mass producing games, and there were just so many. I couldn't keep on top of them. All of a sudden, I was like getting behind in my games. And then the Xbox came out. Now, I'm just going to show Xbox games, but I mean, there's worlds within worlds here. There was a lot of content. I put a lot of hours into this Freedom Fighters. It's a great game, and I've gone back and played it a couple times all the way through. It's a great game. Jedi Outcast, I started playing just a couple years ago. This is a great game. This is one that I never saw at the time. Because again, with no internet, I didn't know about this, and I never saw this on my shelves. If I did, I might have tried it. Oh, look, Star Wars. Let's try it out. It's like a Star Wars game. It's got pictures on the back. It looks like it would be a good Star Wars game. I didn't know about it. So I never played it, but I didn't know about this. I played this all the way through. This game's tough, and I replayed it a second time. I could never beat it the second time. The first time, the last level is brutally tough, but I beat this game once. I tried to beat it a second time. I couldn't quite beat it. But these were great games. You got so much hours. I mean, I don't know, 20, 30 hours maybe to beat this. I don't remember. Black, I've played, God, so many times. On the Xbox, I haven't played the PS2 version, and I've got it on the Xbox 360 as a digital download. It looks and plays really good on that. It's a great game. These were the kind of games where I was just in absolute heaven. It gave me everything I wanted. I didn't like the fact they didn't have blood and stuff in this. It did have some good animations of flipping back over the railings and falling off from high places and stuff, but no blood, strangely. But, I was just happy to have it. And gaming was clearly getting better. The graphics and the lighting on this were so good. It was just a fantastic game. And I got the Xbox late after Land of the Dead when it first came out. That's when I bought it. So I was playing the games that I hadn't played. I didn't play that many multi-plats. Once I played on the PlayStation 2, I got new games, that I like Black for the original Xbox. This is another game that I bought very late in the Xbox cycle, right near when the 360 had already been out. I bought this game and had been playing this all the way through. This is a fantastic game. I've gone back and played this a couple times. I even played the PS2 version a couple years ago. These are great games, and it's nice is that they're nice games. You can buy them. They're in a nice solid package. Wonderful, marketing. This is one of the nicest looking packages I've seen. You get a nice thick full color manual. You get a wonderful disc. And it's nice that I've archived these games. I can go back and play this again and again and again. It won't have the impact of the first playthrough, but it's still wonderful to return to these games. Like I've said so many times, if a game is worth playing, it's worth replaying and having in a physical game collection. That's been my motto for years. And then we get into the 360, which I loved. I love the 360. It's one of my favorite consoles. So many great games, games like Spec Ops: The Line, wonderful story-driven games that just really get you to think. Great action, great set-piece moments, wonderful graphics. These are iconic games, and these should be archived. We have so many wonderful YouTube videos, and what's one of the things I love about YouTube is it archives. You get old Jeff Gertzman, GameStop interviews for Kane and Lynch 1 and 2, or You know, Spec Ops: The Line. You've got a lot of YouTubers aren't even around anymore. You can still see their reviews of these games. And that's one of the things that I love, and that's why I wanted to get into doing YouTube, is because it was wonderful that you could archive your favorite experiences. So not only do you own the game, and it's complete on disc. You got the booklet, you got the game disc, you got the whole thing, and then you can even archive it and give your impressions or game review of it. And so the game lives on forever and ever. It lives on. You can't say that about The Crew, or Destiny, or The Crew, 2 that's coming out right now. I mean, someday those games the servers are pulled and they're going to be something on Wiki. Oh yeah, my dad played that game. What was it called? The Crew? It was like a big racing thing, MMO or something, I think. Yeah, you can see videos of it. That's it. You won't be able to play them. To me, that just the fact that someday that you won't be able to play it, I have no interest in something like that. My whole life has been archiving my favorite music. I have a huge CD collection. True, my nephews, Dean, Uncle Dean, look, I got an iPod. I have over 8,000 tunes in it, I don't even know if he still has it. But now that iPod thing, I don't even know if you can still use them or archive your music on it. I don't know. I like the sound of CDs. I've never liked records or the pops and skips and all the noise that you get in the background of the record. So when CDs came on, I embraced it, and I've got a huge CD collection. I've got a big movie collection, over 5,000 films, most of them on DVD. I've slowly been replacing a lot of the VHS ones. I still have a couple thousand left on VHS, which I'm slowly going through and replacing. Even with DVDs, just so I can at least have that to continue to watch them. And I certainly embrace Blu-rays, and someday if I can swing it, I'll probably even, maybe get an Ultra HD thing, and maybe get my favorite 20 or 30 movies on Ultra HD and 4K, but I'm in no hurry at this point. So I'm someone that loves to archive things and have my favorite movies, games, music to where I own it. If all of a sudden I think about something, God, I really miss Call of Duty World at War, you know what? I just go in my game room and there it is. I can put it in right now. I can hit the, one of the 4 input buttons on my HDMI thing, and I can instantly get my 360 up and running at a brand new 360. I get the game already installed, ready to go, and I can enjoy a wonderful campaign. I've never touched the multiplayer online ever on these Call of Duty games. I could care less. So I love these campaigns. And that's the beauty of it, is that you own it. You can go back and play it again and again. You can do speed runs. You can take your time, look for collectibles, try different weapons you've never done before. And I love that concept of archiving and building a library of your favorite experiences that you can have any time. It's like cooking. It's the same thing. All of a sudden, you know what I'm craving is a good barbecued steak and twice baked potato and some ranch beans, and I can go to the store right down the street and buy all that stuff and instantly produce it and make it. These are even faster. You don't have to go to the store. You've already owned it. That's the beauty of it. Now, yeah, technically there could be a streaming service where maybe you could stream the game, but like Netflix, we'll have things in my queue that, I'm going to watch this later. But then I don't get to it. Like I had the movie The Keep for Michael Mann. They had it for a short while on Netflix. Now it's gone. So it's like, wait, I didn't even get to see it. It's like, would you have it on for a couple months and you took it off? I don't like people controlling my archive. I control the archive. That's why I buy games that are physical games, and I own them. I played the Black Ops game, the first one. This is the first midnight launch. I stayed up 3.5 hours to get this game because I was so hyped with the Vietnam setting and the trailers. I didn't know what the game was about. Actually, it goes back to World War II, goes to Vietnam. There's all kinds of interesting things in this, as the story characters are quite interesting. This is supposedly one of the characters from World at War continues into this, I think. I don't know the lore, Call of Duty, but this was so good. I've played this a couple times. I played it through on the normal default setting. I replayed it on the hardened level and beat it on the hardened level and got the achievements and everything. I never tried it on Veteran. I thought that was a little too hard, but it's a great game. I tried to get into Black Ops 2. I have it back in my collection now. I want to give this another chance, but the story was kind of way out there. I did like the Trent Reznor music and everything, but it was just too sci-fi. It got away from what I thought made the story great. But I'm glad to have it back in my collection, and I think I can still play the zombies offline or do parts of it if I want to. but it's a good game. So they're talking about, Call of Duty 4, which I did my little skit on, but they're saying, well, it's a fault. You guys don't play the single player campaign. Well, yeah, I didn't play the single player campaign in Call of Duty 3. That one I waited. I didn't want to pre-order it. I'm going to wait and watch reviews. It looked so convoluted and so way out there and crazy. I just couldn't get into it. I just completely lost interest. So yeah, if I'm to blame for why there isn't a campaign, well, my thing is make a goddamn campaign worth playing. Don't make a crazy, weird, way out story that doesn't make any sense, and it's open to interpretation. Is it trying to say something? Is it not trying to say something? I have no interest in playing the third one at all, which is a shame because I typically like the campaigns. I played all the campaigns up until Ghost, but that's it. So now they're saying, well, it's your fault. You didn't play the campaign, so now we're going to just have a battle royale mode and all this stuff. It's not my fault. I support the single-player campaigns as much as I can. I have a lot of friends that complain about, the way gaming is going, but yet they'll go out and they'll buy Gran Turismo Sport. Well, I'm having fun with it, Dean. I kind of like it, it's good. But then later, when it's gone, then they won't be able to play it. And it's like, well, then you're part of the problem if you're buying these games. Now, I have friends that love multiplayer gaming, and I don't want to take away something that you love. But when Rainbow Six always had a campaign and a good one on top of it. I just watched a review yesterday. A guy reviewed Rainbow Six 3 and Black Arrow on the original Xbox. I'm like, wow, I have both of those games. And it was just nice to see a brand new, well-produced review of two older games. And it's like, how tragic, and it's like, you can still, and I have those games, I can go right now and play them. And I've got the Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 for the 360. I can go and I can play the campaigns. The multiplayer is long gone, obviously. Now, I think they have single. You can do a system link if you have friends with a couple Xboxes, which I do. You can do a system link cable setup, and you could do some local multiplayer, which would be kind of fun if you had a couple TVs and units. But I'm just not into the multiplayer that much anymore. I do like local split screen, which I think is cool, and I like the system link. Although I've never been fortunate enough to have a couple TVs and consoles at that time to play them. But gaming is going in a different direction. And it's not so much the games. Things have changed. It's become so expensive, like producing a AAA Hollywood big budget movie. It's cost so many millions of dollars to make these big AAA games. I'd love to have another Max Payne game. What's great is I can still go back and play this. All I got to do is finish I'm at the second to the last level in this. I rage quit it. I should go back and finish this. I just watched a nice review of this last night from someone that did like a really in-depth profile of the game and compared to the other, Mad Max or Max Payne 1 and 2 games. And I thought it was interesting, but just watching these old reviews, I can go in, I can pull this off my shelf, put it in right now, pick up where I left off, start a new game on a harder difficulty setting or whatever. And it's a beautiful thing. If you get a PC, you can get this, buy it physically, or I guess get it off from Steam or GOG or whatever as well. But it's nice that we can play these games and return to them. And that's why I have consistently supported offline single-player games. I boycott anything that I think is, like the Rainbow Six game, that's a boycott. Now, if people want to buy Destiny, and it's always been a big MMO, or The Crew or whatever, I guess that's fine. Go ahead and play it. Knock yourself out, enjoy it as a seasonal thing, and then when it's gone, I guess, But I have never, ever, with the 8th gen, and I don't even think the 7th gen, bought anything that is an online-only game. Not one time. I have consistently supported what I believe in. So the people that continue to buy these, I have some friends that they like both. They like online games like PUBG, or Fortnite or whatever, but at the same time they also like a good single-player offline game, or Bloodborne, or Demon's Souls 1 and 2 or whatever. That's fine. If you like those kind of games and you want to grind through them and play them offline or online, I see the attraction. What I've done is I've been consistent, because I know that enough people are already buying and supporting those games, so I'll compensate. And I just feel like as gaming is moving on through life, and I'm getting older. I've been there through every single generation of gaming, and I've enjoyed every single one of them, including this 8th gen. Don't have all the games I like for the PlayStation 4, but I have over 100 games, and that's a pretty good amount. It's not near the amount I have hundreds of games for the 7th gen and hundreds of games for the 6th gen. I have about half the games that I have for the previous gens, but I've got a good amount. I could go back, and I'm on my coffee table right now. I've been debating this weekend. Finally get a break. I got to work a little tomorrow, but I'll have most of tomorrow off. I want to either start this new Colossus. I'm just dying to start this. I got this Far Cry 5. It's just been on my coffee table for a month or so now, waiting. They've already got the Far Cry 3 out, which I've been tempted to even replay that. I got this, Call of Duty World War II that Cameron bought me. I'm dying to play this. I just want to play the single-player campaign. If it's 4 or 5 hours, so be it. It'll be a wonderful 4 or 5 hours. And I've got this Flat Out 4, which I want to get back to. This is so much fun. I'd already been grinding and upgrading my car to the max, and I'm ready to buy the next car and start. There's a lot of content in this game. This is a great game, and I recently just bought the Chase Turbo Horizon Turbo Chase Horizon Zero. I don't know what it's called. It's some racing game. It's kind of like a retro-inspired, kind of like a Outrun, Chase HQ kind of a thing. And man, is it good. Very addictive, wonderful music, great retro-style graphics. And I've posted a couple little Facebook videos of it or whatever as I've been playing it. I've been slowly progressing through that and unlocking things and doing my upgrades, doing the bonus levels. It's so much fun. And that's all I've had time for. I've just like a half an hour, 40 minutes of gaming each night. So I've been playing like racing games, like, my Flat Out 4 and my Chase Horizon Turbo, whatever the hell. I don't even know what it is. But gaming is going in a different direction. I mean, they came out with this Rage 2 thing, which initially, oh wow, this looks great, Rage 2, I'm so excited. But then I'm hearing it's going to be a games as services, so okay, that tells me they're going for the GTA 5, big MMO kind of a thing. Now GTA 5, at least you can play it offline. I got over 100 hours in the Xbox 360 GTA 5. I finished the story. I got a good ending that I wanted. I mean, absolutely cherish my time in that game, and you better believe I bought the remastered PlayStation 4 version with the first-person driving and all that stuff. I think it's fantastic. And I think that there's a lot of good trends. I like the remasters, and frankly, half of the games I have, at least, are probably remasters of last-gen games. And that's kind of tragic in a way, but I'm happy to have those. The fact I can play Bulletstorm again, or a game like Alien War, which I haven't gone through and played the remastered version of, but I've been very tempted to. I even bought another brand new strategy guide for that, because it has some of the VR things. If I ever get it down the line, I wanted to do the VR missions. But now I'm concerned. So I mean, and Rage 2 won't be out for another year or so. So I got to sit and wait for God knows how long. Is it offline? Is it online? I don't know. I was all excited for this Onrush game. And then I find out it's basically some strange multiplayer, big team, like Rocket League and Fortnite. I don't know. It's crazy with the colors, and no one wins, no one loses. Just it's chaos. I can't get into it. I made fun of it in my skit because it's absurd to me. From a developer that I love, I would have given anything for another MotorStorm game. God forbid, Can't you give us both? Can't you give us a good single-player racing game? And then if you want to do that online crap, see, now it's all going for online. And then maybe you can play a little single-player online, or that doesn't work for me. I'll immediately boycott that game. I have nothing to do with it. Very discouraged. I was so excited about that game. It's so sad. I saw Wreckfest yesterday's coming out, which is by Bugbear, which did my beloved Flat Out 1 and 2. And Ultimate Carnage is a remaster for the 360. So I keep hearing that they're wonderful. I've seen, again, it's a PC-only thing, but finally it's going to be on consoles November, the end of the year or whatever. So I'm excited about that because I love their kind of a Destruction Derby style setting that they have in that game. But that's it. That, and I guess, Red Dead Redemption 2, and even that, do we know that it's offline? How do I know it's not going to be some giant MMO thing with an online, an online campaign? I don't know. So I'm not even going to pre-order that because we don't know anymore. We don't know. You got this Black Ops 4, you got this Battlefield 5. You got some games are castrated because they're really doing this games as services, money. They see the microtransactions and all this stuff. And I don't really have a problem with if people want to have a gun with Dayglow camo on it, or whatever. If that's your thing. To me, I like guns black. I don't care about silver and gold and all those crazy colors. Far Cry 5, you can buy, $7,000, or you can buy fancy, weapons with strange color combos and metallic colors on it. It's just crazy. It's like they're making. I see what they're doing. They're trying to make it. Everyone likes to personalize their experience. That's fine. Whatever. I mean, if that's what you want. If people want to buy those, that's fine. I wouldn't. I'm not interested in that kind of DLC. Now, I am interested, like the game, The Grid 2. There's a lot of DLC for the Bathurst Australian track for $9.99. You can get an extended track. There's a spa track for another $10 with a whole series of races that go on those tracks. So I like the DLC for Forza 4. I bought a tremendous amount of DLC for that. Some of the original Forza Horizon DLC I have. A lot of racing game DLC, some flying games like Birds of Steel. There's quite a few planes and extra missions, and I've got the Battle Stations Pacific and Midway. There's some extra missions I bought on DLC for that. So just to have them in my hard drive, because I've heard later this year that Microsoft is going to pull the plug on the Xbox Live Arcade, and that's it. It's gone forever. So if you want to get any DLC, expansion packs, or even digital games, which some games you can't find them locally, but you can get them off Xbox Live Arcade right now. So now's the time to do it, because I think it's going to be this fall or winter is when I've heard speculated they're going to pull the plug, and that's it. So I've got a 500 gig hard drive. I can even add an external hard drive or whatever and make it even more. But I've purposely got that big hard drive to save all my Color Wars Gunslinger, Call of Duty Classic, all my favorite, my Outrun Online Arcade and Sega Online and Rally Arcade, all that stuff I've got all saved. Afterburner Climax, I've got every one of those games in my hard drive. A lot of games you can't even get anymore. And I can, as long as that hard drive holds out, with a few little bit of time mileage I put on my 360, there's no reason why it won't last 20 years or so. But who knows? I mean, maybe I'm dreaming, but I'm going to try to keep these 7th gen games alive just as long as I can. And I'm going to try to do that with the new gen, frankly. Now, I don't want to, I belong to a couple different groups, like some Xbox groups, and for collecting original Xbox and Xbox 360 stuff. Now there's a new group my friend Chance started. I haven't even looked at it yet. He automatically signed me up for it. It's something like 7th gen gaming, and it's all about 7th gen. That's great. I mean, I've made a lot of videos lately where I've really praised the 7th gen, and I've kind of posited that it may be the last great generation of games. Massive amount of games. You can own them, collect them. Now, some of them did have patches. And if you don't have the patches for, the Dead Island for the 360, you might be fucked. I don't know. I mean, again, that's why I got the digital, not the digital, but I got the physical edition, the remaster, where they use the Dying Light engine. It looks really good. So I've tried, but I kept my old Xbox 360 Bulletstorm, but I also have the new one for the PlayStation 4. So even down the road, if they pull a plug and for some strange reason I'm unable to play a PlayStation 4 down the road for some reason, I can still go back and at least play the 360 versions. I already got rid of my GTA 5 for the 360. I probably should have kept it, but I love the PS4 version so much more. It offers so much more, comes with all the DLC and everything, so I really love that. So and now I'm going to think twice before just throwing out and getting rid of my Xbox 360 ones for remasters, because I want to have the option to return to them someday, if I can. So, gaming Battlefield 5 has always been about a fairly realistic war sim. Again, and I know it's a multiplayer-based game, but they've always had pretty good campaigns. I love Battlefield 3 and 4, the campaigns of both of them. I like both of them. Some people don't like them. I do. Battlefield Hardline I haven't finished yet, but I did enjoy it. I'd like to go back and continue that one. That was a lot of fun, something different. They got this new one. They're talking, I love the Battlefield 1. I've only done a couple levels in it, but I really like it, and it looks great. I'm dying to go back and finish it. The graphics look fantastic on the PlayStation 4 Pro. But now they've seen Battlefield 5. They say, oh, we're returning to World War II. It's going to be an authentic experience. That's great. Look, I love World War II. I've got a lot of history books. I've got the flag that my grandfather, had when he had his funeral. They gave my father a wrapped, beautiful flag, huge flag. It's enormous. And then I've also got a World War II Nazi flag as well. So I've got a lot of historic type things. I love World War II, which is one of the reasons why I'm anxious to play this Call of Duty World War II. As simple as it is, I know they take control away from you, and it's heavy with cutscenes and all this. I'm just happy. They return to health packs, which is cool. And at least it's World War II, even if it's 4 or 5 hours. Thank God for the few hours, or 6 hours, whatever it is. So I was excited initially. Oh, good, they're going to return to World War II for Battlefield, and that's good. I want a Battlefield. And then I see the trailer, and I'm like, oh my God, it's got teddy bears, and it's trying to, again, it's aiming, marketing to the young kids and millennials. They got a woman who completely unrealistic. Again, it's not women in games. You guys want to play your Horizon Zero game with a girl in it? That's great. It's a great game. I love the Tomb Raider game. Was my game of the year for, along with GTA 5 for 2014 or 13 or whatever it was. I love that game. I got the remaster of it. I think the world of it. I've got the Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I'm anxious to play. And I'm certainly looking forward to the new one. The Shadow of the Tomb Raider looks really good. So I don't mind the girl games. You want to play Velvet Assassin or Heavenly Sword on the PS3. That's great. You play Wet on the Xbox 360. Knock yourself out. They aren't my thing. If I have nothing else to play and I got some free time, I might try Wet out or something and see what the Tarantino style of it looks interesting at least. But by and large, it's not my thing. I play for role-playing. So when I see a World War II and then they play, it's going to be authentic, and they got a guy with a samurai sword, and then they've got just the way they're dressed and the war paint makeup's like something out of the movie The Warriors, one of the gangs from Harlem or something. The war paint, and they got a woman made up like a fucking slut with a fake arm, and it's just so way out. It's like if you want to make, Gearbox was going to do that. They were going to take the Brothers in Arms series and they were going to make like a Tarantino thing. And I actually was excited for that game. I don't know why they stopped it. What's funny is Gearbox could make that game today, it probably would be a hit. Look, if you want to make an alternative universe spin-off series, then go ahead and do that and market it in that way. But don't take something that traditionally is a relatively realistic world war sim, whether it's modern warfare or World War II or World War I, and then make it way out and try to infuse your political correct message with it and have the diversity ticking off all the boxes. It's an insult to me. My grandfather's no longer here. My grandfather, was for 4 years was in World War II, away from home. Don't you think he would have liked to have been home? He had to serve his country like everyone did at that time. He survived a knife to the belly in the Solomon Islands and lived to tell about it. He served his country and didn't brag about it when he came back. He was very closed-mouthed about it, actually. I had to get it out of him. I was just a kid, but I loved to hear his stories, and he told me a few stories, and then later my father told me more stories about his exploits in the Solomon Islands on PT boats and with the merchant marines and all this stuff. Fascinating. I'd give anything today to sit down with him and have a beer and to talk about those, but sadly he died emphysema in his 60s in 1980, and that was the last I ever saw of him. I was too young to appreciate it. So to me, it's a very solemn thing. I love, that's why I got my Wolfenstein shirt. This is a crazy alternate history kind of thing with the Nazis, but they got and of course the new Wolfenstein, the New Order, and Colossus 2 and all that. Same thing. It has grounded in World War II, but yet they take like an alter. parallel universe Star Trek kind of theme to it. Okay, what if, the Nazis won the war? That's fine. Do your spin-off series. That's great. But it's just that I see so much political correctness pouring into games, and it's ruining it. It's just, I'm not interested. I mean, I'm going to wait now. I would have pre-ordered that game and got it. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how the campaign is. Maybe the trailers are way. Maybe in multiplayer you can play as all. Because the same thing with this one. They had women in battle in this. Oh, we're not going to have any Nazi flags. It's like they're changing history with it. But that was primarily in the multiplayer arena. In the campaign, they actually had the Nazi flags. And again, I don't mind having the women. Women were a major part of World War II. My grandmother worked in the factories, along with a lot of women back then. They did their part. They had just as much to contribute as the men, but we always protected our women and children. That's why we always do women and children first. We get them off the ship. The men will go down with the ship. We always save the women and children. So I've always put women up on a pedestal to save them and protect them. I think that's fine, but to see them in the front lines of battle, and especially playing with the British forces, it never happened. It never happened. So they're trying to rewrite history to fill some political correct thing. So they're ruining a series. Now again, I'm going to wait and watch the reviews. Maybe the campaign will have some merit to it, to where it's kind of like this one, and it's not too way out there, and it has a relatively realistic, grounded, World War II campaign, and hopefully it does. I don't know. But there's so many games coming out now. They got this new Fallout 76. Initially, this is going to be great. I'm watching the trailer. I'm like, it's going to go back to the beginning of the vault. And then I hear that, for those that are thinking this is going to be a single player only, they're going to be, gravely disappointed. And I'm reading all these tweet quotes from someone at Kotaku that has some inside dope on it. It's a big MMO. It's going to be about multiplayer online. God, another one. It's like, finally, I just mentioned how I'd love to have a post-apocalyptic game. I love Fallout. I get Fallout 4 here right on my coffee table. I've been debating going back and finishing my campaign in that. I'm right now, I can't decide. I'm so indecisive. I want to finish Mad Max. I want to finish Fallout 4. I got 144 hours Fallout 4. Now I can finish it in 4K on my 4K TV with, wonderful, draw distance and textures all reworked. It looks so good. I put it in, played like an hour of it a couple months ago, and my God, it looks good. Mad Max still looks great. I saw someone talking about Mad Max. Someone commented in one of my old Mad Max review that I did. And I remembered all those videos I made and how much love. I said, God, I'd love to kind of return to Mad Max. Maybe I'll finish that. But then I got this, Far Cry 5 sitting here looking at me. I've got this wonderful Wolfenstein that I want to get to. I watched a whole retrospective on this, someone that critiqued it for like an hour. Had a lot of things to pick apart about it, but it was fascinating to watch. I said, God, I really need to play that. And now I'm finally at the point where the summer, it's not slowing down so much, but the jobs are becoming a little easier, and I should be able to manage my time to where I can probably start sinking some time into one of these adventures. I'm just indecisive. I don't know which one to pick. So to me, I'm happy with the 100 games I have. Let's say half of those are new games. That's 50 experiences that I can keep me going for some time. So now there's talk of a PlayStation 5 coming out. Now I've already heard, there's going to be no disk drive in it, and probably be the same for the new Xbox, whatever the next iteration is going to be. I don't know what that means now. Now as it is, the games are pretty much digital only. These are basically keys. You get like the new Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition. All it is, it's a vanilla game, and they give you codes to get the DLC and the whole game. So you still have to download some of the games. I've heard that even the game itself is a code. You have to download a whole, 100 gigabyte game or whatever, and that's your things that. So I don't even. The line is so blurred now. I don't know. So I want to keep an open mind, and it's like I have a lot of friends. That's it. I'm done. If this next gen goes this, I'm out. I'm and I have friends right now that won't even play 8th gen. I'm done with it. I saw it was going. I have no interest. Well, that's great. If you want to go back, and believe me, there's lots of great 7th gen consoles, games, 6th, 5th gen, whatever. That's fine. I see it. But to me, don't you think I'd like to see a new movie? Thank God for Mad Max Fury Road. Thank God I like that King Kong movie that came out a year or so ago, and it was actually pretty good. I liked it anyway. Occasionally I'll see something that I like, but man, it's rare that I see a new movie that I like. And it's not that my tastes have changed, it's that Hollywood has changed. Their politics, their agendas, what the shit, the garbage, their fast food they're churning out. To me, it's like eating food. You can have a good, well-balanced, home-cooked meal that's nutritious. It's good. You feel good eating it. You feel good afterwards eating it. Or you can be hungry and just have wolf down Taco Bell and quick fast food at Burger King, McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever. Carl's Jr.'s we have out here on the West Coast. All good hamburger chains. They all taste good when you're starving and you're just. Sometimes I'm eating it on the way home I'll go through a drive-through. I already got like a secret sauce dripping down and cascading off my chin onto my shirt like a pig. I'm eating it on the way home. I can't wait to get home and polish out what's left of the French fries and everything. But I always feel like shit afterwards, you know. That's how I feel about a lot of these movies and games now. It's just like cheap throwaway experiences. You know, and it's like The Crew, you know, it's great for a couple of years, and all of a sudden people get bored with that game, they pull the plug, you know, and then 2015 Need for Speed, eventually that game's going to be a memory. The Crew 1 and 2, Destiny, probably the Division, PUBG has already lost like half of its people. That game was so hot and heavy just a few months ago, and now like half of the people have dropped off, and they're playing Fortnite now. Now we going to have you know, we're going to put, what were they, the fucking grocery carts in them. I mean, it's like they're gearing it for kids. A lot of these games are gearing for, so obviously you got a lot of younger people that are buying and playing these games. They're impatient. That's why they want to cut through the cutscenes. They don't want to watch the cutscenes. They got to have instant gratification. They got to have it now. They don't want to have to sit and wait for anything. God forbid, you know. And so gaming is all geared for them. They're the future whales, the people buying the mobile games. I've never bought a mobile game. I got a nice phone. You know, it's I don't know, Galaxy 8, Samsung. It's whatever the latest, best one is. I only bought it because I like the camera. And with my business, it's really good. I have people that'll send me a text and, hey, Dean, how much you do my cabinets? They send me 4 or 5 pictures of their cabinets. I can look at them in high res. Oh, I can do an estimate right there and then without even going to see it. It's a beautiful thing. And I can do the same thing. I'm like, oh, you're interested in cabinets? Here, check out these pictures of cabinets I just finished over the last 3 months. I can text them some high-res pictures. Oh, that looks beautiful. Yeah, that's exactly what I have in mind. And so for my business, I finally went from the flip phone, but I had to wait till it made sense for me. I could have bought a smartphone years ago, but I wouldn't do it. It didn't make sense until I could see a real application. And I think too many of us are too quick to embrace technology without really seeing, is it really beneficial? Just because we can do it, should we do it? Is it really a good idea? Is it just a flash in the pan idea? Some people think that the VR is a flash in the pan thing. I personally would love to have it. If I had the money, I'd get that PS4 VR at launch. I would have had. I got the PS4 Pro. I'm halfway there. And now they've dropped the price on it. My friend Ben makes videos constantly about it. I'm just dying to get one, you know. I've thought of getting the Xbox One X so I can, just for playing backwards compatible games, or Red Dead, you know, Redemption in 4K or whatever. I'm very fascinated with that technology, and that's like the only pull for me to get that console. But now they're saying that the consoles are only in a year and a half, 2 years. They're going to be making the new, whatever the new thing is, you know. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. If it's an optical drive only, or there's no optical drive, I don't know if I'm going to buy that. I'm already have digital games. I've already kind of compromised but things have changed. It's not what it was, you know, and I don't want to be left out in the cold either. Look, I may be old-fashioned, you know. I don't want to be like a Clint Eastwood from the Gran Torino movie, you know, get off my lawn, you bastards, you know. I already feel like I'm an older person, but at the same time, I'm like a young person trapped in an old person's body. And I still am excited like a kid when to see the new game. I want to be excited. I want to be excited at E3. I want to be able to see a trailer and just take it at face value, but I can't anymore. I can't. I got to wait for Bethesda to announce, okay, is this a MMO only? Is it going to have a single-player campaign? Is it not? And the same thing with the Battlefield 5 game. I got to sit and wade through all of the literally a cavalcade of circus acts a game looks like an absolute abortion to me. I'm sorry, but I just cannot. And it's not the females thing in it. I mean, if they want to have a multiplayer of a woman or, different races, or that's fine. But if for a single player campaign, at least keep it relatively accurate, historically accurate. It's just, to me, World War II is sacred. It's, people and family that died. My grandfather's brother was shot down in a bomber over France. He's gone forever. It's my great uncle Frank. All I've ever seen is pictures of him. I have family that made a sacrifice. It's sacred to me. Don't fuck it up with your political correct agenda list crap. Don't ruin it, And they get these other games like Onrush. They're all flash in the pan games. It's like they're going to be just nothing but a memory on Wikipedia someday. Oh yeah, what was that Crew game or Need for Speed 2015? Well, it says here in Wikipedia it was an online-only game. You'll be able to see video clips of it, but you'll never be able to play those games again. So there's no longevity in that. And that's the way gaming is going. I'm like I've mentioned, that the ship's going down like the Titanic. I'm already climbing the stern. I'm hanging on till the last minute because I want something new. Don't you think I want to see a new game? Don't you think I want to have a new experience to enjoy? This looks good. I'll make the best of it. I didn't like the initial marketing for it. I still don't. And they kind of backpedal, obviously. They didn't want to offend anyone. Some people think it's too left-wing. Some people think it's too conservative. It's interesting to see two completely opposing views on this game that's just trying to be a fun game with an interesting premise. But people will make out of it what they want, I got the Far Cry 3. Man, it looks good. I get it downloaded. I'd love to play that. I'm tempted to even play that before playing this. I got 35 hours in that. I never finished it on the 360. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I want to play the Far Cry 3, but man, I still haven't played my Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. So I'm holding out for new experiences. I got other friends of mine, Solid Rev, that said, I may another couple of years, I probably won't be gaming at all. I'm like, dude, that's why you got that. I gave you that Xbox 360. You got a PlayStation 3. Buy 20 games of your favorites. So at least you can go back and play, Max Payne 3 again, or Midnight Club, LA Complete Edition, or whatever, And then Xbox One X is slowly adding more. Just now, I guess they're going to have, I think, Bully, and I don't know if it's Midnight Club 3 Complete Edition. They're going to have that available as backwards compatible. That's great. I may not even get an Xbox One X. I might even just get like an Xbox One S. Just to play. Believe it or not, only to play old original Xbox games through HDMI and through my soundbar would really be cool. I would like to do that. Even though I technically can play them. And the fact that I can play SSX 3 and Jedi Knight, Academy. And there's a couple games that'd be kind of fun to play. Republic Commando would be kind of neat to play that on a modern console with a modern controller. So I'm open-minded. I don't want to be one of these old farts that just, that's it, I'm done with gaming, fuck this. It's easy to do that. I have friends that have already rejected the 8th gen back in 2013, and they have stayed true to it. They have not touched it. I got my friend Dave at Lawn Boys Post, 1975. He finally got an Xbox One. Yeah, he's got an Xbox One. I don't know which model it is. So he's been finally kind of catching up and playing some of these games, some of the newer Forza games and other games that he hadn't had a chance to play because he still had 7th gen consoles. And I'm glad he did. I'm glad to see people embrace it. I don't want to be an old man. Fuck these new games. I ain't playing them. It's easy to do that. It's too easy to turn my back. So it's hard for me because I still want that new experience. I see a new trailer for their Rage 2. My God, it's perfect. That's getting me all over it. But if I find out it's an MMO only, then I'm going to just, I'll never touch that game. And it'll be, I don't care how perfect the gameplay is. I don't care how great it, oh, Dean, you got to play this. If I can't play it offline and play it on my own time, off my own hard drive, I'm not interested. So we'll see. If the new one's in no optical drive, but yet I can own the games and somehow play my PlayStation 4 games on it somehow. I don't know how. Maybe it recognizes I own the game somehow and then I'm able to play it. I don't know how it would work, but we'll see. I'm not closed-minded as long as I can own them and play them offline. As long as I won't buy into a streaming service. If it's like a Netflix thing or a PlayStation Now deal, or I think there's a new Xbox microservice has some other new thing, I think you can play older games. I don't know what it is. I won't do it. I won't do a streaming thing at all. I'm not interested. As long as I can own them and play them offline, I'll hang in there. I'm hanging on. I'm climbing the stern as the Titanic's going down. I'm going to hang on as long as I can. I'd like to buy into 9th gen. I would like to. I'm going to be open-minded. I'm going to give it a chance, but I'm going to hang on. At the very least, and I just announced this on Facebook the other day, I'm going to, another year or two from now, as we're approaching the end of the 8th gen, I'm going to definitely be buying another. Maybe I'll get like a Battlefront 2 edition or something, special edition bundle, PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm going to definitely get another one and another backup 4 terabyte hard drive, because I want to keep those games going. I've got a huge investment in these games. I have 100 of these games. That's a lot of money, and most of them I bought brand new at $60. That's a huge investment. Thousands of dollars probably. I don't know what it is. I haven't done the math on it, but it's a lot of money. And I'm not going to just walk away from that collection. I want to keep this collection. If it means keeping one hard drive and transferring it to another, being able to play them offline 10, 12, 20 years from now, I'll do it. I'm going to do whatever it takes. If it means that someday the hard drives may go down, but I can still play these games on a PC, then I'll buy a damn $4,000 gaming PC, whatever it takes. I'm going to preserve these experiences. I want to be able to play Mad Max, and the only way I can play it is on a PC down the road, providing on the new Windows 20 or whatever the hell it is can play it. Supposedly, these new Windows 10 can't even play a lot of these older Windows 7 PC games. And again, that bothers me. I don't want to fuck with driver updates and all this convoluted shit. I just want to plug a game in and play it. That's why I'm a console gamer. My friend Cameron just gave me this wonderful new gaming monitor. It's a 144 hertz, 1440p thing. I mean, it's a killer monitor. It looks amazing, bigger, it's better graphics and everything. And it'd be very tempting to get into some PC games. And I still have Windows 7, but I mean, who knows? Eventually that's going to die. They'll no longer support it. They're going to force me to bend over and be cornholed with Windows 10, and I just don't know if I'm up to it. Or God knows what other horrible iteration they'll have after that. So, I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record. I hate to sound like an old man. Get off my lawn, you bastards, and one of these old fogies. But I just can't take the direction that gaming is going. I don't know. You let me know in the comments genuinely how you feel. I sincerely love to read, and I read every comment. I respond to every comment. I want to know how you feel. Do you feel you're going to hang on as long as you can? Is there certain things that you're going to see happening in gaming that you actually will put your foot down? That's it. I'm not buying into that. And again, I know some of you like online gaming. That's fine. You like your online MMOs and multiplayer. I don't want to take those away, but just not at the expense of a single player. And Rainbow Six always had a single player campaign, and all of a sudden you rip this campaign out, or the new, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 or whatever, and you rip the campaign out, then you give me nothing. And so I'm glad that my multiplayer friends have something, but it gives me nothing. And that's my objection. That's the games that I boycott, is when they do it at the expense. Gran Turismo Sport. Yeah, to save my my single player game, I got to go online to save and offline. That's insane. That is insane. I don't care what the reasons are. I won't buy into it. I don't care how good the graphics are. I don't want to hear Dean, you're missing out. It doesn't matter. I'm not missing out. Because someday I'll never be able to play it. So to me, it's like if I can't play it for all time, I'm not interested. And that's why I do want to collect retro games. I want to build a collection that I can enjoy for years to come. For years to come, I want to enjoy all these games. But not at the expense of online gaming. Not at the expense of these new trends and patterns. I think gaming is changing very rapidly. I wouldn't be surprised in another 2-3 years, we don't even recognize it anymore. The landscape's going to change. Like I said, I'm going to hang on as long as I can. But let me know. How do you feel? What would it take for you to bail and say, that's it, I'm done with gaming today. I'm going to go back to 7th gen, or or maybe go to PC gaming. At least there I can play the original Deus Ex. I can play the original Soldier of Fortune 1 and 2. I can play new games, and even Manhunt 2, uncut. I mean, there's a lot of neat things about PC gaming, and I'm considering that too. I try to stay open-minded, but I have to know that I can own and maintain and continue my legacy of games that I love, the experiences that enrich my life, that I can get lost in, that were a vacation of the mind, just like going to Hawaii or something. It was a wonderful excursion. I have very fond memories of Mafia 2 and L.A. Noire and Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City and so many games, and all of these Driver Parallel Lines I've played a few times, and the story and the setting and the hunt for the collectibles and the hidden stunt ramps. It's so good. And I have to return to those. I have to know that I can have those any time I want. If that means backup consoles, systems, and games, and so be it. So anyway, thanks guys. Let me know in the comments how you feel. Thanks so much for watching. The long-winded rant. It's just a lot on my mind, and I want to know that gaming is going to be here for all of us down the road, and I'm willing to congruently stand for what I want and vote with my wallet. That's all I can do. Even if I'm in the minority, at least I'm going to try. So thanks again for watching, guys, and enjoy your games.